I was nursing my morning coffee on the porch of my grandfather's old cabin, watching the sun rise over California's Lake Tahoe, turning the water into a shimmering canvas of orange and pink. It had been 8 months since I'd escaped the grind of Silicon Valley burnout, retreating to this serene spot to rebuild my life. The last thing I expected at 7 a.m. was the crunch of determined footsteps on my dirt path. Up walked this woman in a crisp beige suit, her auburn hair impeccably pinned, clutching a clipboard like it was her lifeline. She had that no-nonsense glare that spells trouble. Her name was Diane Whitaker, but I didn't know that yet, and she was about to shatter my peaceful existence into a whirlwind of deceit and family secrets that would rock our entire community. "Excuse me," she barked, skipping pleasantries altogether. "This property violates 12 HOA guidelines." I nearly spat out my coffee. Violations? For what? She rattled them off like a drill sergeant. Blinds in the wrong shade for waterfront views, fence a few inches too low, unapproved birdbath attracting pests, mismatched garden planters, and irregular patio setup. I sat there stunned, thinking, "Lady, this is a rustic cabin in the woods, not some gated suburb with rules for breathing." But Diane was on a roll, whipping out an outdated smartphone to snap evidence photos, measuring my lawn with a cheap tape measure held backward, oblivious to her own blunder. "Ma'am," I said, keeping my cool, "there's a mix-up. This is private land. I'm not in any HOA." Her smile chilled me to the bone. "Oh, Mr. Thompson," she purred, like she'd rehearsed my name. "Every lakeside owner here falls under Willow Creek HOA whether they realize it or not. And I run the Willow Creek HOA." The way she declared it, with godlike certainty, screamed control freak. My wife, Sarah, was inside on a Zoom call with her IT consulting clients, blissfully unaware. She'd picked this place for its tranquility after my breakdown. If she'd seen this, she'd have hacked Diane's digital footprint in seconds. Diane thrust a formal notice at Metaporidled, printed on flimsy paper from some generic template, demanding $400 per violation within 48 hours, totaling $4,800 for feeding birds and having offensive decor. The email at the bottom? Diane@freemail.com. This screamed scam. But her fatal error? Assuming I was a soft city slicker who'd fold. My grandfather had raised me to stand against tyrants, and my sister Lisa, a real estate attorney with a decade of experience, specialized in these exact shakedowns. "I'll consult my attorney," I replied evenly, locking eyes. Her composure cracked just a flicker, but enough. She blustered about standards and values, but I saw the panic. "I'll return with authorities," she threatened, stomping off. That night, a midnight call shattered everything. Lisa, after digging into records, revealed this went deeper than harassment. But would you believe who was really behind Diane? The next day, voices outside yanked me from breakfast. Diane was back, with a sleek realtor named Brooke in a gray suit, surveying my yard like it was theirs. They chatted about pricing strategies and investment flips for my cabinus if I'd vanished. "We're here for the viewing you approved," Diane chirped falsely. "Approved? Never." The realtor looked puzzled, citing a signed listing I'd supposedly okayed amid yesterday's talk. My blood boiled. This was forgery, gaslighting on steroids. I started recording. "This is fraud. Get off my land, or I'll call the cops." Diane's mask slipped to raw fury, insisting I was incapable of upkeep and selling was best for all. Brooke bolted, sensing the scam. Diane lingered, eyes boring into my home like she was plotting arson. Lisa's check of county files uncovered months of unauthorized inquiries on my property surveys, appraisals, all predating my inheritance. "This is organized crime," she warned. That afternoon, I bolted a massive lock on my gate with a sign. "Property for sale, $40 million. Cash only." Diane's terror at seeing it hinted at stakes far beyond land. Chaos ensued the following morning. Diane arrived with a survey crew, 3 hapless guys with discount tools, flagging the wrong spots, including my neighbor Mike's goat pen. Mike, a burly rancher of 25 years, exploded. "What in tarnation are you idiots doing to my goats?" He unleashed the herd, sending the team fleeing amid flying steaks and squawks. Priceless. Then Mrs. Patel from next door confessed. She'd paid Diane $1,500 in bogus fines for non-compliant yard art. More neighbors emerged. Diane had bilked thousands, targeting vulnerable elders with fake threats, forging inspections, even spying on families. Lisa drove in, exposing the truth. No Willow Creek HOA existed. Diane's empire was a solo fraud factory. But records showed systematic research on lakeside values aimed at forcing sales for a massive resort scheme, bypassing post-1990s pollution bans from her dad's era. Diane's father, Harold Whitaker, had run Whitaker Drilling, illegally dumping toxins into Tahoe's feeders. My grandfather led the charge, suing them into oblivion. Harold got 12 years federal time, $28 million in fines, family ruined. Diane, then 12, lost it all, fueling decades of vengeance. But Victorer, Jack Ellis, her ex-hired muscle and former deputy, flipped. He'd recorded her plotting to plant contaminants on my land to force condemnation. She's desperate, he said. Investors demand 70% lakefront control by year's end for condos. Marinas, even a casino tie-inner, the deal tanks. Our property held key monitoring gear from the old cleanup, essential data for any build. Without it, her plan crumbled. The community rallied, 50 plus at a meeting, sharing horrors. Lisa built the case: fraud, forgery, fake votes from ghosts, and empty lots. Conspiracy. We filed with AG, EPA, FBI. Tensions peaked. Jack warned of Diane's final push that weekend. We fortified cameras, patrols. Evidence poured in, odd deposits, shady queries. The showdown? A packed hall of 150. Diane wheeled in a sloppy board touting progress, reframing her crimes as vision. Mike called her out. Lisa shredded her with proof. Diane's lawyer call. A bakery voicemail. Her meltdown was epic. Denial, fury, pleas, sobs, threats of bad reviews. Then investigators stormed in. You're under arrest for racketeering, fraud, environmental violations. Handcuffs clicked as she whispered to me. Your land hides proof my dad was framed, worth millions in lawsuits. But tests later revealed heavy contamination from Harold's dump's undevelopable poison soil, costing fortunes to fix. Diane's revenge chased worthless dirt. 8 months post-arrest, she got 18 months prison, full restitution. Irony. She emerged reformed, volunteering in cleanups, using family secrets for good. We bumped at a store. Her apology was raw. Hate ruined me. Now I heal what Dad broke. Our community thrives stronger, greener. Grandpa's legacy endures. But here's the controversy. Was Diane a monster or a victim of her dad's sins? Should childhood trauma excuse adult crimes? Would you forgive someone who nearly destroyed your life if they truly changed? Or is prison too lenient for such schemes? Drop your hot takes below. Did I go too easy on her? Like if this fired you up, subscribe for more wild justice tales, and comment. What would you have done with that contaminated land?